Hello there, welcome back to Planet Zoo. Thanks very much for joining me today. We are back here in, what zoo are we in? I've forgotten the name of the zoo. That's pretty bad, isn't it? Nope, it's escaped me. Never mind. We're here anyway. Lunar Zoo, there we go. Oh dear, you can tell it's been one of those days. Excuse me. Right, so we are back in Lunar Zoo, and this is our zoo based very much on structures and gardens. And in our last episode we built this humongous project over here. It was a two-part project, our reptile house, and it's turned out pretty good. I'm certainly very happy with the interior. The exterior, however, does change, and I can tell you that these window areas, the domes, that's it, window domes, sorry. Oh, my mind's gone blank today. I can't think of any words. These are going to disappear. I can tell you, I've already done a load more work in this zoo, so I am now going back in time and doing my commentators. Wow, my brain is like mush this morning. I do apologise. It's like I've forgotten the English language. Don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, I am doing my commentaries on stuff that I have already built. So I can tell you for sure that these domes do disappear soon. Not quite yet. But let's move on to today's project. So today is going to be the Chinese Pangolin. Cute little things. Let's just find them in here, and I can describe them to you. I'm sure you know what they look like, but look at them, little sort of armadillo type things. Lovely little creatures. And I did these because I really wanted to make a nicely themed exhibit next. So I had this gap here basically, and I thought I just wanted to fill this in with a small animal. And because I wanted to do something that was quite heavily themed, I thought that was an obvious choice, because there's quite a lot of good scenery pieces in the game for China, sort of that Asian look. So that was what I decided, and this gap here was just shouting out at me to have something put in it before I move off elsewhere in the park, because all of this looks fairly sort of rounded off and finished, whereas here I've got these two bits of path just waiting to have something put in the gap. And so that is what I decided to do. So that is going to be today's episode. So let me move on without any further delay and show you a bit more of what my plan was for these adorable little pangolin. Right, so this is just the first basic bit of work that I did. I joined the paths up, which dictated the size of the habitat. So as you can see, it's a pretty small habitat, but they're very small creatures, and I was only going to put a pair of them in here, so they really didn't need any more room than this. And I liked the idea of the shape being a basic sort of semicircle like that as well. I always knew from the start that I wanted to use these pieces here. So this is very basic. It's just some pillars, some of these little, I don't know what are these little pieces called, timber brackets. Yeah, the pillars, I had to actually bury them into the ground, and then because I wanted this concrete bit at the bottom, I had to put another one underneath and use the top for that. So these pillars are actually a little bit shorter than they are in the game. I like doing little things like that because you don't notice that it's been done, but actually it's it's quite a simple technique, but it's quite effective as well. And I love this roof piece. I just had to have this somewhere in here, so I thought I wanted to use this as their shelter, and I wanted to have this lovely stonework as well. I don't know why this stonework works with so many different themes. It can look Chinesey, it can look mountainous, it can look. It looks pretty good with wood actually, and in fact it looks pretty good with glass. So yeah, it's a really good piece. So I wanted this as the base. I also just got this bridge out because this bridge is beautiful. It's a fantastic piece. Again, obviously it's an Asian themed piece, and I was praying that it was suitable for the pangolins to actually walk over it. Thankfully it is, it turned out. But my thinking behind it was I wanted that to be sort of the centerpiece of the whole area, and I wanted water flowing underneath it. So there was always going to be some water in this habitat because the pangolins do like to swim. So I wanted a stream coming under under the bridge, going into some sort of pool around here. And then I hit upon the idea that actually this bit here would look good as an island, essentially. So they have to cross the bridge to get to their bed. That was my thinking. So that is what I do in a minute. The bridge isn't where it's going to be. I just put that there just so that it was out, and I didn't have to find it again in the construction blueprints. I also found this while I was strolling. While I was come on, work out the English language. While I was scrolling through the various Asia pieces within the menu here, I found this lovely little thing with the Chinese Pangolin on it. So I've just plonked that out there just so I remember about it and make sure that I use it later on. So that was my idea. So the entrance was always going to be over at this end somewhere. I wanted the bridge as an actual bridge between an area of land here and then the island of their bed shelter area there. And then the rest of it would all be water. That was my thinking. So you can see it's not going to be a big project. Doesn't need to be. Not every habitat that you design needs to be big. It needs to be suitable to whatever the animal is. So that was all I was going for here. So let me crack on and load up my next save and see what I did next. So you can see here what I've created with the thinking of the island here. So I've just put it on these rocks. Made sure that the rocks are fairly steep around the edge because I didn't want the pangolin to be able to climb up the rocks to get to their bed. I wanted to force them to go over the bridge. Of course, at this point in my design, I hadn't put the pangolins in to actually know they could cross the bridge. I was just hoping. Luckily, it turned out okay. So there's quite a lot of water. I wanted them to have plenty of swimming space. They can even swim in this little area around the corner here. But the point is I didn't want them to be able to walk around the outside here and hop across to their bed. And they've got a nice bit of land here as well. Like I said, they're very small animals. I'm sure if you've put them in your own zoo, you realise how small they are and just how little space they actually require. So this was going to be absolutely fine for them. Because of course, they've got that as land. They've also got all of this area as land, and their bed is classed as land as well. So there's plenty of space for them to be walking around. And underneath the bridge here, the water is just one of these simple waterfall formations. Very effective, really nice in-game pieces. And obviously I've just blocked off the back here with a bit of stone, just suggesting that this is obviously artificially made waterfall and that there's some sort of pump system in there that is pumping the water out. It doesn't need to be any more than that. I don't need to... In previous zoos where I've done this, I've created sort of a vent system at the end here to look like the water coming out of a vent, but because it's hidden under the bridge here, I didn't worry about that sort of detail here. But I love the rock work around here. It's a very simple thing. It makes this bridge look really nice. So I'm very pleased with how that turned out. I can't quite remember. I think the pangolin can walk up this bit of rock here, but obviously if not, it's going to be very easy to create a bit of a slope there. And obviously I've got to hope that they can get down into the water here as well. So yeah, it's coming along nicely. I mean, like I say, it's a very simple design this, but actually come the end of it, it looks really nice. And the theming as well, it doesn't take a lot really with the Chinese theme to make it look nice, because all this red woodwork and the pillars and everything like that, as long as you continue that same sort of colour scheme, then it all looks really nice. And of course I'll put the entrance in here. That's, again, it's just a temporary looking entrance. My thinking was that I would have some sort of a custom fence all the way around the outside. There'd have to be some fencing along the back here as well. I can't actually remember what I end up doing along there. We shall see in a minute, I guess. So yeah, really simple, but it's coming along nicely. So let us move on and see what I do next. I'll probably get the animals in next, I would have thought. I think that's probably the next thing to do to make sure that they can actually navigate around okay. But let's find out, shall we? And we have our pangolin in. We have one swimming down here. Look at them. They're lovely little creatures, aren't they? Swim, swim, swim. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Where's the other one? Having a lie down. Here we go. Oh, look at them. When they curl up in a little ball like that, that is adorable, isn't it? Yeah, lovely little things. So they're happy in there. Let me show you their traversable area. If I can click on him, there we go. So you can see that they can get around basically everywhere, but they cannot quite get up into their bed without going across the bridge. So that was always my plan. So they can come down into this area, but they can't get around the front here, and that was what I was hoping for. They can't. I don't think they can quite go up this little slope here, so they have to go up this way across the bridge to get to their bed. That was always the plan, and that is how it worked out. So I'm very happy with that. As you can see, he's going to go on, go across the bridge. You know you want to. Here he goes. Oh, isn't that great? He's going off to bed. He needs an afternoon snooze. There we are. Nice and simple. Right, so what else have I done? The fence. Here we go. Custom fence. Really simple this. Obviously I've done it all as one big piece, but I simply obviously just copied and pasted. So you've got a big cornerstone here. This is a pre-made fence piece, and then at the bottom it's just a couple of the Asian painted timber pieces. And then you just copy and paste and bend it and put it where you want. I think it looks pretty nice. It's a nice sturdy looking fence all the way around the outside of the habitat there, going right up into this corner here and then joining back into the building. I didn't do the same along the back here because it already had this sort of the edge of the flower border here. I just went with the in-game fence piece along the back here. I had put this bamboo down. This doesn't survive. I get rid of this. I'm pretty sure I get rid of this anyway, because I was just experimenting with the idea of trying to cover it up, create a bit of a barrier from this sort of angle so you don't quite see what's going on back there. You get to see the shelter over there, so that would kind of capture your eye and suggest that there's a habitat. But it didn't work. I don't know. There's something about it. This bamboo is just a bit too generic, you know. It all looks the same when you have it in a row like this. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So it does end up disappearing. But yeah, so there we go. That's it's coming along, isn't it? Oh, look at them. They're just so great, aren't they? I was tempted to put more actually in here than just the pair, but I just thought I don't know. It just looked nice just having the two of them in there. Obviously in the game they like to be in a pair and then they can breed, but with all the different things turned off, you can put as many of the animals into each habitat as you want. So I often do put more animals in than the game wants, purely because sometimes when you have animals in a big enclosure you don't get to see them very often. So sometimes I'll put extra ones in just so you actually get to watch more of them walking around and enjoying what you've put the effort into create for them. But in this case I just thought it worked nicely with the pair, so I do just leave it as a pair. I think. It's been a little while since I built this, but I'm pretty sure I leave it as a pair. We shall see. Right, so there's still some more to do. Obviously I've got a bit more decorating to do with the land here, get some shrubs in here. The water, I don't do too much with the water because I don't want it to be too full up, because obviously they're very small animals, so you don't want to lose sight of them by putting too many big shrubs and things in. But I do some work with this, and there's a bit of decorating I believe on this back wall here because this looks a bit plain at the moment. So again I wanted to theme that with the Asia theme again. Like I say, I'm pretty sure I'll get rid of this bamboo, and I believe one or two trees go in as well, but we shall have to see exactly what I do with that. And of course enrichment items still to go in too, and probably some signs of some sort. And I've still got this this thing here that I wanted to use, and I think at this point I wasn't too sure what I was doing with that, but I left it here just to remind myself that I wanted to use it in some way. So let's move on and see what I do next. As you can see, I've done quite a lot now, so let me explain what I've done. Like I said, I got rid of the bamboo. It just wasn't working for me. But I wanted something there. I wanted some sort of height in here. And I went with these conifers, even though they're not, well, cypress, sorry. Even though they're not obviously a Chinese theme exactly, they just looked right here. And I wanted something tall. I think for the eye lines from back here, it just made sense to have something quite tall there. So that's what I went with, and I think that works pretty nicely. I also really had to get some of these lovely maple trees in, the cherry blossom trees, because, I mean, for a start, they're Chinese, more Japanese than Chinese, I think, but they're just fantastic looking things. So 2 of them went in here, obviously the large one on the outside and then a smaller one on the inside here as well. And then I had a couple of areas, so here for example you could see the edge of the pathway was showing here, and I couldn't really manipulate the fence in the right way to get it to cover it up. So I just thought if I put one of these hydrangea bushes in here, it kind of just works on this corner, hides the path edging, and it worked perfectly because it shapes just right so you can still see the pillars nicely through it, and it just looks like it's growing through the fence. And obviously the colour of that picks up the colour from the cherry blossom trees as well. And I did put another one in here as well. I didn't want it to just be one. I think things like that, it works better with 2. If you just got the one, it might look like you've just put it there just to cover something up, whereas if there's 2, it looks like it's actually a theme of the habitat. So that was my thinking there. And I put, what have I got? A couple of ferns back here. Again, these are lovely looking things, and they're plants that can work with many different themes as well. They do look sort of Chinesey. They can look swampy as well. They also work in a desert habitat. So yeah, they have a lot of different uses. So I've dotted them all over the place. You can see that, and because of the colour of these maple, there's another maple tree. I missed that one. So there's one of each of the maple trees. There we go. So you got the 3rd maple tree over there as well. Because of the lovely pink colour of that and the red colour of all the woodwork, I decided to go with these little plants. Can't remember what these are. Cordylines. Because of the sort of the purpley pink colour, I thought they worked well with the theming. So just a few of those around the outside here. You've got one over by the bed there as well, around the base of the tree here and along here as well. Just to continue that sort of red, purple, pink theme. I thought they worked pretty nicely there. On the back wall here, I've used these pieces. These are these big sort of flat pieces. They have so many uses, these things. You can use them as fencing, you can use them as flat designs like this on a wall. So that's what I've done there. Just a repeated pattern, just gives a nice backdrop. And again, the red theme, you know, just continuing that sort of Asian look to everything. So I thought that worked really nicely. I was pleased with that. And then the water, like I said, I didn't want to overfill the water, so I've kept it really simple. A couple of lilies just in the middle here, and then just a few of these basic bulrushes, what they call the cattail reeds. They're bulrushes, that's what we know them as in the UK here. So just a few clumps of them, a couple more over here and over here, and then just in the back of this little pool here as well. And 1 or 2 rocks dotted around. I think, was there some extra? No, there wasn't actually. I think originally I was going to put some extra rocks around here, but it messed up their traversable area too much, so I didn't do that actually. Because as you can see, they're still wandering around, and they could just about come up onto the land at this end if they want to, but mostly this area obviously is just for them to swim in, like he's about to. There we go. A little bit of doggy paddle there. Great. Yeah, there we go. So that's the habitat basically done now. There was our enrichment items as well. So you've got a ball, you've got a box, you've got some termites there, you've got a scratching post or rubbing post there. There's another ball. I don't know where that's come from, but it's probably up here somewhere. I think, yeah, there's a food one on the bed area there, and a scent bowl over in this corner here as well. So plenty of things to keep them busy and entertained as well. So at this point I still haven't come up with a use for this, so that was on the agenda, and I wanted some sort of media. Of course I do that with all the exhibits, some sort of media screen to educate the the public about the animals. And I also had this triangle here, so that's sort of all I've got left to work out, and they all end up sort of intermingling with each other in this this triangle here. So yeah, let me just load up our final stage and show you the finished product. And here you can see this is what I came up with for the posters. Really simple, just stack them on posts basically. So you've got one there, you've got one at this end here, and then you've got another one over here by the gate. Really simple and effective, just just a poster of the animal that's in the habitat, so nothing too fancy going on there. The main thing that I've done to finish this area off is our little triangle over here. So this is what I came up with, because I found this lovely statue of the Chinese pangolin, and I thought I have to use that in some way. And I also wanted to incorporate the media screens into this, so I thought I might as well use this triangle to do all of this at once. So I used these nice stone pieces around the outside, and again I coloured them the red colour to sort of match in with the theming from the habitat over there. And then I used to use a couple of the grey ones here as the plinths for the statues to sit on, and then continued with the same planting scheme, so the fern and these cordylines underneath. And then I did go with a couple of different ones here. These what are these ones? The elephant ear plants. I just wanted something a bit different in here, something that just gave that little bit of height rather than these ferns. Just wanted something different, so a couple of those in there as well. And then on the three sides I've just made a very simple wooden frame for the education boards to fit into there. Now usually I would have the education boards right on the habitat, but there wasn't really, I don't know, I could have easily put them, I suppose, on these fence pieces here, but I just thought this time I'll just do something a bit different and have them just a little bit separate from the habitat and have them over here. I think that's okay. Did I put one over here as well? I can't remember. I think at some point I might come back and actually put a board over here somewhere, because obviously if you're approaching the habitat from this side and you come around here, you've got to walk all the way around the habitat before you get to the education board. So I think at some point in the future I might come back and put one over here somewhere. I'm really not sure about that. I did fill in this corner here with one of these hydrangea bushes and another fern, because I didn't like the way the fence here went into this building. I couldn't quite space it right so it looked good. So I just covered it up basically with a hydrangea, and again actually that made sense because I wanted to continue the theming from the two hydrangea bushes that I had over at this end of the habitat. So there we go, that is our Chinese pangolin habitat. It's small and heavily themed, and I'm really pleased with how it came out, and our Chinese pangolin are very happy in here. They're doing well, as you can see. They're happy little critters. So yeah, so quite a short episode this one, because there wasn't too much in this. It was a very simple design really, but I think it worked out really nice. I think it looks really nice. I love this bridge with the water coming underneath it. I think that worked so nicely. So yeah, I'm very pleased. It filled the gap in very nicely just there. I think it blends in nicely with the surroundings. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hopefully this has been a better length episode. I know my last one ran to about an hour, and listening to me talk for an hour is hard work, I'm sure. So hopefully this one is a little bit shorter. So thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate you spending some of your time with me. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and maybe I've inspired you a bit to do a nicely heavily themed Chinese habitat of your own. So yeah, next episode, I can't remember what my next episode is. I think it's in here, let me say. I'm pretty sure the next one was a very large habitat that I built over here. And yeah, all I'm going to say, I'm going to say one word as a spoiler. I'm going to say Thunderdome. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Thunderdome. You can figure out the rest on your own, or you can wait until I release the next episode to work out what I'm talking about. But yeah, there we go. That's a little spoiler for the next episode. Thunderdome. Right, I'm going to leave it there and let you try and work out what the hell I'm talking about. So thanks very much again, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode very soon. Until then, take care of yourself, stay safe, and bye for now.